Welcome to Revealing the Narc. Join me as I highlight narcissistic traits in celebrities and public figures. Everything here is in my opinion and not professional advice. If you enjoy the analysis, please like and subscribe. In this video, we're diving into the claims of Prince Harry feeling trapped and misled in his new life. Could this be a case of narcissistic manipulation through future faking and isolation? Let's unravel the layers. A quick note, I'm not a therapist, but I've spent my entire life around narcissists. I even married one, so I've learned a lot about their patterns and behaviors. If you've been following Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, you know that their journey is dramatic. But recent reports are further confirming that there are cracks in the facade. Radar Online claims that Harry feels missold on their California dream, likening it to a life of isolation like Rapunzel in her tower. Could this reflect common narcissistic traits of future faking and isolation? Let's get into the article and then we'll discuss these two tactics that narcissists often use. The title of the article is Exclusive. Prince Harry raging he was missold American dream by estranged wife Meghan. They ended up living like Rapunzel in her tower. Disenchanted Prince Harry is angry and frustrated at how his new life living the promised American dream has turned into a behind closed doors nightmare, locked like Rapunzel in a tower with his wife Meghan Markle. Sources have revealed that 5 years since the Duchess of Sussex set in motion the plan that would see them quit the British royal family for a new life of freedom in the US, Harry feels like he was missold the idea. Radar Online can reveal. A mole revealed Meghan sold their move to America as a way for their family to be happy, free, and relatively normal, but that doesn't seem to be the case for them and their kids at all. So this is what future faking is. We'll get into it a little bit more, but I want to mention that I believe Meghan used a lot of future faking when she met Harry. I think that was one of the biggest manipulation tactics in her toolkit that sold Harry on her. And I can speculate on these in a future video perhaps, but I think it was definitely one of the major things that she used. The article continues, since Harry and Meghan, 43, settled into their Montecito compound in 2020. Wow, they call it a compound. Oh my gosh. Okay, their kids, Prince Archie, 5, and Princess Lily, 3, have barely been seen in public. It's almost as if they, as a family, are living like Rapunzel in her tower. Even the locals in Montecito are puzzled. Archie and Lily are rarely seen with Meghan or Harry at local events like trick-or-treating at Halloween, for example. Harry is angry and frustrated at how things have turned out. He feels like he's been missold a life, plus he and Meghan are also leading pretty much separate lives. It's like they are an estranged couple living under the same roof. In California, though, the opposite has happened. In fact, Archie and Lily's world seems even more cosseted than his own upbringing as an heir to the British crown, the mole added. I skipped ahead a little bit, but the article continues. But Meghan now seems to be applying those security fears and a desire for privacy to their life inside a gated community in the US. So I've said this before, but I really don't believe Meghan believes in these security fears. I think she is using this for a number of different reasons, allegedly and in my opinion, and these include to draw on Harry's biggest fears. Like, if you're really scared of something, the way Harry is scared of what befell his own mother, he would do anything to avoid that fate happening to the people he loves. So I believe, in my opinion, that Meghan does use this against him as a manipulation tactic. The article continues, Harry feels as if they are living in a bubble, our source said. He's beginning to think he had more freedom as a kid growing up in a palace. Of course, while Harry, like Meghan, will always prioritize their kids' safety, he's worried Archie and Lily are missing out too. So that's where I will stop reading this article. This comparison to Rapunzel is basically what isolation is, and it's a tactic that narcissists commonly use. As a side effect of Harry's isolation, his children are feeling it too. Harry is absolutely right. His kids are completely missing out on what could be an amazing childhood. And I recently had a live stream. I like to ask hypothetical questions that are funny in my live stream, and one of the questions I asked recently was, what do you think is on Archie and Lily's list for Santa? I thought it would be funny, but it was really, really sad. Like, if you really think about the children, if they exist allegedly, it's a really, really sad existence, in my opinion. So I want to start off talking about future faking. Future faking is a classic narcissistic move, making grand promises about a perfect future to keep someone invested. And I believe Meghan did this with Harry. So I think that Meghan promised Harry that there would be a private, peaceful life, but now they're embroiled in lawsuits, Netflix documentaries, and constant headlines. This is a far cry from the quiet family life that Harry envisioned. In fact, if you remember in the beginning, Harry was completely content to move to South Africa. I think that was his idea. He thought they would really leave a peaceful life, but that's not what happened. So let's define future faking a little bit more. Future faking refers to making grand promises about the future to manipulate someone into staying invested in the relationship. This tactic works because it preys on hope and a person's desire for stability and happiness. So this is how narcissists will use future faking. They'll overpromise. They'll describe an ideal future that aligns perfectly with their partner's dreams, such as the perfect home, career success, family harmony, privacy likely, in the case of Harry and Meghan, allegedly. It'll create dependence. By painting this rosy picture of what could be, they make their partner hesitant to leave their relationship, even when circumstances are toxic. It results in the narcissist being able to avoid accountability. These promises distract from present issues by shifting focus to a fabricated future. And ultimately, it's emotional manipulation. If the partner expresses doubts, the narcissist might accuse them of being ungrateful or impatient. Reports suggest that Harry was sold on this American dream that was full of freedom, privacy, and independence, yet their lifestyle has been characterized by constant media attention, legal battles, and strained relationships with family. If Meghan made assurances about a better life to persuade Harry to leave his royal duties, this is a form of future faking. This promise of happiness outside the royal system has not materialized, and it leaves Harry feeling disillusioned. The impacts that this could have on a victim are confusion. They may struggle to reconcile this promised future with their current reality. They may be insecure. They doubt whether they're too impatient or too negative, and this future that was described by the narcissist just hasn't had time to materialize. There's also emotional exhaustion that can happen. Constantly working toward this unattainable future drains the energy and self-esteem of the victim. Now let's talk about isolation. This is a tactic narcissists often use to control their partners. Reports are suggesting that Harry feels increasingly cut off, not only from the royal family, but also from his former social circles. We on the outside, we can see this, right? We know that Harry doesn't have anyone to rely on. Everyone he is surrounded by, their loyalties lie towards Meghan, in my opinion. Isolation doesn't necessarily mean locking someone away. It can be emotional, discouraging connections with loved ones or making them feel like they have no one else to turn to. So think about it. Harry has reportedly reconnected with old friends, yet Meghan remains absent from these trips. Isolation is another hallmark of narcissistic control. It involves limiting the partner's access to external support systems, including family, friends, and professional networks. Narcissists will use isolation in a couple of different ways. They'll undermine relationships by criticizing or sowing doubts about the intentions of the partner's family and friends, labeling them as toxic or unsupportive. We know that this is the case, and one example off the top of my head is what happened between Harry and William. William came forward expressing concern and just telling Harry, move along slowly, you don't need to rush into this. And we know that Meghan turned that into, they're just jealous of us, in my opinion. Narcissists will also use physical separation, so moving far away from the partner's social circle can prevent easy access to external support. And this is, really one of the benefits Meghan probably saw in moving to California. He is physically distant from everyone he's known his entire life. Narcissists will also use isolation as a way to form this emotional dependence. By isolating the partner, the narcissist becomes the sole source of emotional validation, and it creates a power imbalance between the two. They'll also control through conflict by creating situations where the partner feels forced to choose sides, often resulting in severed connections. And in my opinion, another great example of this is what happened with Victoria and David Beckham. And I'm going to be paraphrasing this story, but Harry had invited David Beckham to the Invictus Games, and I think they were taking place in Australia. David Beckham flew over there, and Harry refused to see him. Well, it came out in, I believe in Tom Bower's book about Victoria and David Beckham, that Meghan, feeling envious of Victoria, among other things, made a demand of Harry to not be seen pictured with David. And that's what happened. she controlled Harry's interaction with a longtime friend through conflict. She threw Victoria under the bus. I believe she's accused Victoria of leaking stories to the press when we know that that's not what happened. And, she's using conflict to create these situations that are going to cause relationships to break down. In Harry and Meghan's case, increasing distance from his family, friends in the UK is isolation. Reports of him reconnecting with old friends might indicate a realization of this dynamic. Meghan's refusal to join Harry on UK trips or family engagements further exacerbates his feelings of separation, in my opinion. So, how does this impact the victim? The victim will feel lonely. The absence of support systems leaves them vulnerable to the narcissist's control. It creates dependency where they will rely heavily on the narcissist for validation, advice, and emotional support. And ultimately, they'll have difficulty leaving. Without external perspectives, the victim will feel trapped and powerless to change their situation. So these tactics actually work together. Future faking and isolation are often used in tandem because they reinforce one another. Future faking keeps the partner motivated to stay despite growing doubts, while isolation ensures that they lack the external support to question or escape the manipulation. These two tactics aren't just about celebrities. They can happen in any relationship. If you recognize future faking or isolation in your life, reevaluate the promises. Are they consistent with current reality? Reconnect with loved ones. External perspectives can help break the cycle of manipulation, and seek professional help. Therapy or counseling can provide tools to regain control and perspective. By analyzing high-profile cases like Meghan and Harry's, we can learn to identify and address similar behaviors in our own lives. Let's continue the conversation in the comments below. If this content was interesting to you, please like and subscribe. Please share it with your friends. And as always, I will talk to you all soon. Goodbye.